Hello, everyone, dear viewers and listeners of Idea Radio and Television, this global think tank. This is الهیارکنگرلو+, and welcome to the Friday talk show with Miss Anushka. Anushka, don't say hi to our viewers.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday.
All right, thank you.
Which we can have.
Our today's subject is extreme violence of the government against people. Today is Friday, December 16, 2022, and 25th of Azar Mah, 2581, which we are in the third month of protest that led to the ongoing revolution that strikes by the heroic people of Iran against the occupying regime of Islamic Republic of Iran. You may heard the Islamic Republic has hanged a second protester in less than a week in public on Monday after charging him with killing two members of the security forces. The hanging took place despite of the domestic and international outcry over the execution of the first protester, Mohsen Shekari, on December 8th, who was charged with the injuring a government security agent and blocking a street. Which, of course, when they say government security means the thugs, an agent of killing people of Iran. While the government has used thousands of well-armed regular and irregular forces to repress the protests using severe beating, firing shotgun that have killed and blinded the hundreds of the people, and even military weapons, here is my first question, Anushka. Given that the death penalty is an irreversible punishment, and there is a possibility of a mistake in issuing the death sentence, do you think this punishment can be used, and if so, for what crime? We're listening to you.
I personally don't believe in the death penalty. I don't believe it for anyone, especially for those that are being hanged for no reason, really, but not even for those that have done the worst of crimes. I mean, now let's talk about what's happening in Iran, like with these two that literally they're not having a trial. There's no fair trial. They're being refused lawyers. They're probably lying, like saying that he's killing the security guards, or I don't even know if they're even saying that it's the truth. They have zero basic human rights. And so it just seems outrageous that this evil regime is allowing this to happen. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, yes, and to do it in public, it just blows my mind. And even when it comes to those that are committing those heinous crimes, like this regime themselves, right? I even don't believe, I believe the death penalty is an easy way out for them. I really believe that people like that need to rot in jail for their life. To really, that is true suffering, not to just end their life and say, okay, that's it, you're gone. Execution, or, I mean, especially being hanged in public, I mean, these atrocities just really are so heartbreaking. And it's absolutely a huge mistake that can never be reversed.
Thank you, absolutely. Also, yesterday, on Thursday, Dutch news agency ANP reported citing Foreign Minister Wopke Hoekstra that the Dutch government will summon the Iranian ambassador to the Netherlands over the execution in recent days of two men involved in protests against the authorities. On the other hand, activities and activists on social media criticize the execution of the 23 years old Majid Rahnavard, a criminal act by the clerical establishment to deter dissent. And you know that what happened exactly, that called Rahnavard's family at the 7 a.m. local time and told them to go to the Behesht Reza cemetery. We executed your child and buried him.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be released, right? So like that video.
Yeah, you've seen that, yeah.
That was for Mohsen, I believe, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
At this point, it's just
amazing. Rights group have said Mohsen Shekari also was tortured and forced to confess. Now, our question is execution, torture, and illegal trials without the right to have a lawyer, along with the kidnapping and many other crimes against the people who protested without weapons and peacefully. Tell us who should be brought to trial for sure, and what it is we're going to hear from you.
Well, like I said earlier, these are not trials. These are illegal, absolutely illegal, not fair trials. It's like one-sided trial. So it's like, how can you even call these trials that these monsters are pretending to have? And then to just have them for like they were in jail for what, like 2 months? I mean, we see in America when there's a death sentence, it's usually like 6, 7 years or however. And this is like happening like so quickly. It's unbelievable. And it really, to me, it sounds like they're just wanting to scare people. Absolutely. And they are giving these poor souls, these young kids, no rights whatsoever for peacefully protesting. They're dictating what's going to happen and having zero accountability on their own end whatsoever. And what I believe is that every single person that's involved in this evil regime is who needs to be brought to trial. They need to be brought to trial one by one. And yes, given a fair trial, because we don't want to be hypocrites, right? But with what they've done, they need to receive that full life sentence without any way of coming out of it. Like,
it's interesting for me, Anushka. Have you, I mean, in your personal life, I mean, in your life, from your point of view, based on the study that you have on a history of Iran, have you, and the world in this respect, have you ever heard that after 3-month revolution, ongoing on the street every day and night, I mean, it's unheard of.
I know.
And the government keep killing, and the West, which they call themselves the cradle of democracy, say nothing. And the most important word that they're using, they're saying, we are with you. We are with you. But when you look at these issues deeper, you see their hand deeply in the pocket of the people of Iran's assets, alongside really with the government, not with the people of Iran.
Yeah.
They are the one that they are causing this revolution to be prolonged. Have you ever seen such a thing in anywhere in the history?
No. No, I can't. When I think about it, and we talk about this, like even during the times of Hitler or, Mussolini and all this stuff, it's like, I feel like there's so much corruption in the politics worldwide at this point that it's really tough to see who can you trust anymore in terms of government. And the last 3 months have really, really opened my eyes to that. Because yes, we're not saying, oh, go into Iran, right? Like go in there and change it up. It's more of like, stop doing business with them. Stop having any kind of negotiations, nothing. Freeze their assets. Don't allow them into your country. Expel anybody else that they're related to, right? And nothing. So it's obvious they're getting some kind of benefits from it.
But what is so funny, at the same time sad, deeply sad, is nowadays the Western governments, they are claiming we are doing our best, but we cannot go for a regime change, remember? Mm-hmm. But practically, and we know that in 1979, almost, Jimmy Carter, mm-hmm. the President of the United States at that time, Democratic Party, the evils of Democratic Party, went to Iran. He went to the Shah for one purpose and one purpose only, to decrease or stable the price of the oil, mm-hmm. the way that they want it, because of so many benefits, so many setup around the world that they have, not to be trembled. And Shah told them that, okay, enough is enough. And from now on, the benefit must go first to the people of Iran. There is two sad issues. First, the people that came to the street, they didn't know that they are killing their hero. They are destroying their dreams. Mm-hmm. And now the same governments, the predecessors, Obama and Biden, we remember on the Green Revolution, Obama did the same thing that Biden did. They turned their face like nothing has happened. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and negotiated with the Islamic regime.
More than negotiation. And just I want to pick the small issue, highlighting the people will forget soon. At the end of the deal that they had with Obama, they asked, by the way, they asked for a certain money that Shah of Iran reserved for the people. They said, how about that money? They said, we can't touch that now. They said, okay. Then we require 8,000 green cards with the permission of carte blanche money with them. It's very interesting, which everybody in the United States, in Los Angeles that we are in, we see them, the young people, like at 20s, 30s, we see with the Lamborghini and most exotic car and the houses, which these are the money which is belong to the people of Iran. And I was watching the clip that one guy was walking in the street and talking to the people that they don't have no job. I said, have you eat anything? He says, no. So for a whole day, for a whole day.
Well, inflation is through the roof right now in Iran.
Yes.
When I saw the numbers.
Not for everyone. For Iranian only. Not for the regime and the people that they are backing up this regime. Mm-hmm. They are an elite, and all the money and assets of Iranian is belong to them, which I call them the angel of death.
Yeah. Well, they spent so much money for those that went to Qatar, or I hear they spend all this money that belongs to the Iranian people in other countries to like build up other countries. This is for their people, and they're just
Right.
stealing from them.
Yeah, there is a letter that they're circling in social media that from the um, leader, supreme leader, wrote a letter to some financial institute that immediately release $4 million to his son, Moshtaba.
Jeez.
No reason. I mean, despite of all the money that he has spent and nobody knows what, and the word on the street is, now is him that resisting on the street an order of the killing. Anyhow, you know that Iran was ousted from the United Nations Women's Body on Wednesday for policies contrary to the rights of the woman and girls.
Thankfully, finally,
Yeah.
finally,
This
I
is,
should
yeah,
say.
this is the first victory for the people. Also, the Guardian newspaper previously published a report that revealed that the repressive forces of the Islamic Republic deliberately targeted women's faces. Pay attention to this. Women's faces, eyes, breasts, and genitals in dealing with female protesters. After that, a significant number of injured people refused to go to medical centers and had to be treated at home because they are female. They can't do that.
Yeah.
And beside that, they have assigned a person by every single clinic that anyone with any injury that come has to be reported, taken with the government, and they take him from there with the ambulance. Imagine. It
Well,
means
it's not a real
crime after crime on top of crime.
Yeah. These ambulances aren't even real ambulances, though, from what I see. They're actually taking them and who knows where and doing what with them.
They are changing the definition of the everything that belongs to human rights. They're changing the definition. They're abusing everything. Anyhow, because of the officials of the Islamic Republic of Iran had notified, which I just mentioned, they notified the hospitals to announce the names of the injured people in the protest, which led to the people not coming for treatment. Furthermore, they have assigned, like I said, it's very interesting. I repeat it because I want the people to pay attention. They assigned special secret agent by every single clinics to observe, report, and kidnap the injured protesters for any reason. Imagine how painful this issue could be and what dangers the list of, which is infection,
Yeah.
can threaten people, especially women. Okay, Anushka, now we are arriving to the third questions.
Just to add to that, I did also hear they were doing the eye to be able to detect them down like in the future. Like to say, oh, okay, that girl, that boy doesn't have an eye, that's because they were protesting, which that is unbelievable to me. I mean, all of it is really, but to do that, just to be able to detect who's a protester, distinguish between them, it's just, where do they come up with these things? I just don't.
And I add to this issue that even sometimes this bullet hit the bottom, not straight to the eye, the bottom. it is so powerful, is destroy the surrounding, and it's injuring the brain as well too.
Yeah.
But this is very interesting. But there are so many cases it could be cured, and they keep their eyes. But they have a strict order that take the eyes out, no matter what. Take their eyes out. Anyhow, our third question from you as a woman, that beauty and fertility are one of the components of her being. Why is the Islamic Republic of Iran targeting this angle of existence of women who make up half of the country's populations? We hear from you.
I really believe they fear women. I really believe that they fear women taking over. It's because this really is the first woman-led revolution, and it's the first one in 43 years now that's lasted for so long. So this is really, I feel like, instilling fear in them. Even though the excuse is, oh, women arouse men, that's why they have to make themselves invisible. Again, not a woman's responsibility. That's a man needs to learn how to control that, right? If that's really what they're worried about, then they need to not be animals and control that. But they see this fearlessness within women, the strength that these Iranian young women, girls, that they have, and they're just sacrificing their lives, themselves, their beauty. Like, they know. I remember watching a video of, I can't remember her name. Gosh, there's so many of them, but one specifically, it was like beautiful girl, and I want to say Ghazal, and she had a bullet in her eye, and she still had a smile on her face, and she was throwing up a peace sign to say, pretty much to say that I don't care, because that's how important change is for them. This is what they're doing for freedom in their country, of the entire country. Not just women, but as a whole, to just no longer have this dictatorship. And this revolution is the farthest that it's ever gone. So these dark, evil souls, they know that women could be the end of them.
But I'm so glad that no matter what, always I'm saying, either we have to choose or the history will choose it for us. But in between these two choices, there is something in the middle that I call it depends of the unknown factors. And what is those unknown factor is the creating an ambience which the people and the ambience that they are living in will result to such a unknown factors that no professional politician and no philosopher even can guess. What was it? The Iranian woman uprising. Not just for Iran, amazingly affected quickly, fast, the whole world.
Yeah.
And do you remember any message or any revolution sparkles traveling so fast and affecting every different section of the people, from the artists, from the sport people, from athletes, from everyone. This is beautiful.
Yep.
Woman, life, freedom.
Yes.
What a message.
Absolutely. It's like message. Wildfire and then with wind.
They tried to, cover it or destroy it or connect it to something else. It couldn't. It's just okay. Amazing bird that got out of the cage. You never can bring it back to the cage anymore.
No.
and will be witnessing that this message empowered the woman of the world. The way that this world, mark my word, it's going to be different for the women because of the message that flew from the street of Iran. Anyhow, back to our program. Austria's foreign minister said on Saturday the government would place targeted sanctions on Russia and Iran in response to what it called the issue that they are trying to bring it up is very, very interesting to me. That aggregates human rights violations. At the same time, Italy's foreign minister said that Wednesdays he would summon the new Iranian ambassador to condemn in the struggling and also with the strongest term the ongoing violation of fundamental rights and freedom in Iran. And also, Britain on Tuesday said it has sanctioned Iranian businessmen involved in the production and supplying of the military drones used in the attacks. European Union Foreign Minister on Monday imposed new sanctions on Iran over its crackdown of anti-government protests. But what is the real and tangible result of all these shows? Which comes to our fourth question. What effect does all of this oppression and torture and the muffled voice of the freedom and justice in Iran have on the face of the human rights in the world? Can the so-called first world and pro-democracy countries still claim that they are fighting dictatorship and terrorism?
You know, I really believe that it's really bringing to surface that how severely oppressed some countries around the world are, beyond just Iran, right? I mean, of course, we're really seeing, like, it's like an awakening for the world to really see that there are countries that are severely oppressed to the point that they don't even have these basic human rights, such as, like we've been saying, getting this fair trial and so much more, just getting killed on the streets for peaceful protesting, right? I am so thankful for the internet and social media because I really believe that's the reason we're starting to see how little human rights really exists worldwide. And, you know, especially with all the torture and rape and these executions, like uncalled for executions. And I'm so thankful that these countries are starting to have more voice through the internet to be able to just express their, you know, how oppressed they are. My vision is that we are getting closer and closer to getting out of oppression for Iran and worldwide, while simultaneously also impacting the first world countries, these so-called first world countries, for them to have more awareness that not everybody has this luxury of basic human rights worldwide. And these pro-democracy countries truly believe in human rights globally, yet the action is so minimal. So it's interesting to see that unfortunately, it just seems as that they've claimed to fight dictatorship and terrorism, and it's just a lot of words. It's really when it benefits their own country and their own people, not worldwide. And that's what I vision. I vision that at some point we get to a place where we look at the world as one and allow all that's come to surface to be able to now get transformed. One of the things that I always say through coaching and everything is I believe that, and I've learned this through my own experience too, that the bigger the breakdown and struggle, the bigger the breakthrough and transformation on the other side. So really, the fact that this is all being brought to surface, and we really have hit like a rock bottom. I mean, with this regime, though, they keep doing things where I'm like, how did they even go there? I can't imagine them getting any worse, and then they do. But really, it's just rock bottom. So at this point, there is only one way to go. And at this point, having that massive breakthrough is inevitable. It's going to happen because we have come way too far to go backwards at this point. So we must only look forward for that transformation and to be victorious and have that free, evolved Iran.
It's interesting. And I know it was the last question, but I have one amended question, which is not the question. I should call it your opinion. If you know the lady in the news nowadays, the name of Masih Ali-Nejad, what is your definition of her position in these days? And at the end, how do you compare her approach with your approach in life?
She is so powerful, and I feel like so many people, not just women, but so many people look up to her and admire her. And for her, she's so heart. She's all heart, and she has so much. She's so heart driven around this entire thing. I just see her constantly going to different. I believe she was in San Diego recently with Shali. They did an interview as well. And I feel like she truly could be someone that could be a part of the new organization. I don't even want to call it a government, but no, the new organization that's going to be in Iran in the future as part of that group, because she has that voice and she's got so much love for not just the people, but for Iran as a country. And for her to just put herself out there, I admire her truly. I see her as like an idol, and I would love to be at her level, of course. And I do what I can, because, of course, for me, this is all heart driven too. It impacts me all the time, of course. But I can see, like, for me, I still get emotional quite a bit.
For any type of leadership, you must be armed with the theory, with the strong theory, and not the time-framed theory. Imagine the revolution has happened and Iran freed to the way that the people of Iran, they want it. What would be the role of Masih Ali-Nejad based on the strong theory which each leader has to have? First of all, what is her theory and what that theory can do in a long term?
I don't know specifically her theory, but I do see her as one of the major roles, like going forward, to be able to create that partnership with other people as well. Again, in terms of politics, I don't feel like just having one primary leader going forward. That's why I always say evolved Iran, because it's going to be something made completely out of nothing, right? Like something completely new, where there's multiple leaders, in a sense, like having equality there with women and men. And as I said before, that feminine energy is key at this point, having that feminine energy where it's more about the people, it's more about bringing the nurturing aspect out, and really creating that equality from that space. So in terms of her, like I said, I'm not sure what her theory is, but really bringing her as like one of the major leaders there, alongside with maybe a male partner, maybe a couple others as well, to create something that people really resonate with, that all people, Iranian people for the most part, resonate with. Of course, everybody has an opinion, and you can get an 80% or more of the people to say, yes, this is what we desire.
And I think you have seen the clip that she's in France with the two other ladies, and I don't know if she's aware of not to being filmed. But some people, they are telling me that her husband was filming this clip, that she's genuinely saying and claiming that I am, quote unquote, I'm so happy that this revolution is with the women and women only, and the men has no role in it. She emphasized on this point.
Oh, I actually haven't seen that clip.
Okay,
no.
I'll send it to you. I'm not saying anything against or even harsh critic. The reason I'm saying that, the person that wanted to be in a Western world, I'm just saying it for the our viewers. In fashion, there is some position, they call it fashion police. If anyone wanted to be freedom police, has to be flawless, at least on a main issue that is fighting for. Of course, the best result was women life freedom. But these two genders, if they don't support each other, they're not going to be successful.
Oh no, yeah, it has. That's why I see
Right?
it as equal partners, 100%. Yeah.
Even though I am one of her fan, seriously, I want to bring it up because people and the media, when someone getting to the pickup mountain, they don't dare to say anything. Even the other people, they're criticizing you. That's why you are saying this is the time of unity. No, 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 no. This is the time of stopping anyone, especially the people that they are influential human being. When they get excited, they show their true self. And especially, I don't know, they're telling me that this has been filmed by her own husband. Even it worse, the action. And I will send it to you. If you search it, you will see that why so cheerfully from bottom of your heart, you have to say, I'm so happy that men, they are not here. This time they are not here. Really. Go see the blood on the street.
Direction.
You see the street and the blood.
Yeah.
And what happened in Iran in a street, based on the phrase that they are saying, beyond every successful man, there is a strong woman. This time on a street, men, they were standing behind the woman closely, fearlessly. And it's not fair. Someone has to bring it up on the media and ask her, when you got excited, please control yourself. Don't show the dictatorship within every human being that could be rise and show itself.
Right. Well, and look, the last two that were executed were young boys, young men. So really, men are quite a bit involved. It's, yeah, it's the last thing, because like I've said this before, I'm not like feminist, because I believe in equality, like total
Exactly.
equality. And I believe that in order to have a successful Iran, a future Iran, there has to be both genders involved. Because
Life, to me, life is a dance. Men, woman, and nature, and every other beautiful virtues in life, they are in a harmony, dancing with each other. And that's the beauty of existence of not human being, every existing element in the world. Anyhow, it was a great program, Anushka.
and also, real quick, there would be no humans there would be no new humans if there wasn't a man and a woman. So
exactly.
it's necessary. Anyhow,
Exactly.
just wanted to finish off on that.
Thanks. That's the beauty of work of the gods, biological engineering, that they never can say how many percent was from man and how many from woman. Apparently, he knew what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyhow, here we come to the end of this program. And thank you for your company and sharing this production as much as possible to help us on the path of wisdom and freedom for what we call it, woman, life, freedom. Long live Iran.
Yes. Victorious Iran.